Hello, hello, and welcome to Garblag Games. I'm Pete, and I'm here this evening with a bit of an impromptu chat with you guys, just to talk about a few things. Let me know if you can hear me well, if you can't. But yes, so on this episode of the Garblag Games TTRPG discussion show, drink after saying that. I'm just going to be talking about some upgrades we've done to the studio, a bit about new shows that we're going to be bringing out soon, and just general chat with anyone who pops on who wants to have a chat. You may see me looking down a bit. I'm looking at the I'll show you the untidiness. Looking at the chat there, see if I can see it. So I'm Pete. Hello, and welcome to Garblag Games YouTube channel. I come on here generally every Thursday before we film an episode. Unfortunately, tonight we're not filming an episode, which is why we're a bit later with our live show. And it's down to a bit of scheduling issues. Unfortunately, we're unable to film tonight. But I thought that I've got the camera for my son here to the side. He's asleep. The wife's out, so I thought I would do just a little impromptu conversation. Hello, viewers. Welcome to Garblag Games. I'm Pete, just having a bit of a chat about what we've been up to recently. Someone let me know if you can hear me properly. There's a little volume indicator down here. The first time I've done it through the laptop on YouTube Live. So do let me know if you can hear me okay. I can see the chat over here as well, which is good. I've got it down. Hello, Nicholas. Hi, JJ. 225000. Eggle, hello. Sounds good. Okay, excellent. Right. Just got to do one thing quickly. I've got to turn the TV off in the background. It's going to come on blaring at some point when the cartoon that Lars and I were watching ends. So 1 second. There we go. Hello, everybody. This is Garblag Games. So yes, on today's discussion show, I wanted to have a chat with you guys because I haven't been in front of you for a couple of weeks and I was missing it, to be honest. And I wanted to talk about studio upgrades we've done and new shows coming and do the usual, chit chat nonsense, talk about games I've been playing and shows I've been watching, the usual assortment, and films I've been seeing. Okay, so thanks to our amazing patrons, we have now upgraded the... Hello, Tony. Tony's one of the runners-up in our competition, as was... I've got the names down somewhere. We've got that on a previous episode. Let's not worry about that right now. Hey, Tony, nice that you could join us. So thanks to our patrons, we got some kit previously that I hadn't been able to put up because I forgot to get one key important element, which was the actual mount for the cameras. So what I've been able to do now is I have been able to remove the wooden strut that we had supporting the two cameras in the middle of the room. 3 cameras, sorry, one pointing at the Games Master seat. And I've now replaced it with an extendable, a retractable column with all 4 cameras can now be mounted on one area, and it's more compact, gives a bit more space between the camera and the players so that we get a bit more field of view. So when we've got 3 people sitting on one side, we should be able to see all of them now and not have Simon sort of leaning off the edge of the screen. There's a bit more distance between the Games Master and the camera, and also I've managed to fit on the other side the top-down camera looking at the area where we have our battle mats and the objet d'art and all that kind of stuff. So we now have a very nice 4 mounted cameras in the middle of the table. I shared some pictures earlier on the Garblag tabletop gaming community and it's a lot better now. I'm trying it out the other day quickly. I'm going to give it another test tomorrow night, hopefully, and it looks pretty good. We've got that set up, so that's cool. The next thing I'm going to do is I've realized that on the left side, the top screen of the show, as you'll see it, so in Masters and Monsters, where we have Colin and Adam, and in Flint and Steel, where we have Simon and Jim and Kevin, and we had Sam one week, blah, blah, blah. So top half of the screen, that's actually one lead going to the soundboard, and it's split at the microphones. This was a cost-saving exercise. Now, due to patron money, what I've been able to do is get another cable and split it at the soundboard. Now, what that sounds like, it's kind of doesn't, you know, 6 of one and half a dozen of another. What that actually means is that I can have those microphones further apart now. And whereas before, with these short extender leads, they're I don't know, probably about 1.5 feet long, not very long, which means those microphones are quite tightly bound together, and wherever I move them, they can't really separate much. And really, I want the microphones coming in from either side, so that whoever's there is forced to sort of look more at the cameras, but also picks up that sound between all the players. So what I've done, what I'm going to do, sorry, is get the splitter at the other end. I've got another cable, I think. Here we go, this arrived. Thank you very much, patrons, you are awesome. So we've got another cable. So I like to get them color coded. So red and green will be on one side and blue and yellow will be on the other side. So the green cable will now come across across the roof, the ceiling, down the side to the soundboard, where there'll be a splitter because there's only 4 XLR ports on the soundboard. Getting all technical now. All the stuff that I picked up from doing a one-man band, doing a one-man band sound rig, and that will just mean I'll get a bit more flexibility on where we can move those microphones. The sound is fine, the sound is good. I think everyone will agree that now that we've got all the better microphones, the sound is a lot better. Another thing that I've got my hands on is some soundproofing foam. So I haven't shown this to any of the cast yet, but basically we've got these 12-inch by 12-inch panels of foam, which look like, if you ever bought a Games Workshop or a miniatures case with that kind of foam with the undulating, you know, cut in it, looks a lot like that. So basically I've got a big stack in this this huge box came from Amazon, and it's got these panels in it. Sound is very important, Egil. It's one of the things I regret about some of the earlier shows. We had some really cool shows with some really good episodes, but unfortunately, the sound does let it down sometimes. And, you know, it's a shame that, for example, our Zweihander show was a really nice little compact 4-part series. The sound was okay, it's good, but it wasn't great. Now, I think we'd all agree that Flint and Steel and Masters and Monsters have got great sound, and I'm really proud of what we're putting out, and that's down to you guys, so that's really cool. But I've got this foam, and I'm going to be putting the foam on the walls to cover up some of the bare brick areas that you see on the show. So one, that'll hopefully give it a better look, so you won't see all those bare bricks. There'll be a bit more coverage, you know, focus on the players. And 2, it'll just, you know, take the little edge off. It'll mean maybe there's a little less background sound that I have to edit out. People still don't believe me that there's background sound because you can't hear it. You can only pick it up on a recording. But, you know, so that's good. So we've got visuals. So the video capabilities are in a good place. I thought that was what the posters were for. That is, the posters are there to cover up some of the areas. I can't cover it all with soundproofing foam, and I don't think all of it needs to be. I think the surfaces near Roger, his side, and over by where Adam or Jim sits, depending on the show. Roger's always there. That's Roger's corner. I think just a bit of foam around those 2 areas will help just to bring the sound back in. Anyway, at this point, we're sort of getting into smaller returns on the sound. There's the microphones, the positioning, and the space that we have. The installation in the ceiling and the carpet on the floor are the main things that control the sound. I think we've got drapes and things, and I want to put the sound insulation on. That will really improve it all, so that'd be great. So that's cool. So there's a load of studio upgrades going on, which is good. And we're really pleased with all of those bits and bobs that are going on. So what I wanted to talk about next was the new shows that we've got coming. So it's 2019. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for everyone who's joining us right now. Thank you for the likes. We have got some new shows coming. So obviously we're still doing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Flint and Steel Season 2. We can't forget about that. Cheers. And I'm absolutely loving it. The teaser video was cool. Thanks, Egil. Yeah, I had fun putting that together. I just thought I'd done a post with some pictures of a few, pictures of the books for different shows or different games, but it was a little bit flat. I wanted to have a little bit of oomph or something, funky about it. And I'd seen an Encounter roleplay video, but that had like banged through so fast you could barely kind of catch up with what they were doing. So I wanted to, and it was just names. So I wanted to show the book. I got the wrong Dark Heresy edition, but anyway, that's by the by. You know what it was. I wanted a picture of the book with the name of the game, and if we've thought about it, the name of the show. So obviously, with Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition, which we're loving. By the way, slight aside, if you haven't, go and listen to the Old World podcast. I've been listening to it recently, and these guys are really enthusiastic about Warhammer, the battle game, but the podcast is about the fantasy roleplay game. And they do a really good breakdown of the book. They do like a 3-parter high-level breakdown, and then they've recently been going into the careers. And what they're doing, which I think is really interesting, is they are sort of using the career to explore a bit of the world as well. So they kind of associate conversation around it. So Lance and the guys over at Old World Podcast, good bunch of guys. Go and check it out because it's fun. They're fun. They've got a little actual play as well, where they're like going into a goblin tower, and I like what Lance has done with the voices. They've done a little bit of sound editing to make his voice for the creatures sound high or low and things. So it's really cool. Anyway, so Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, Flint and Steel Season 2. We've got that coming very soon. Sorry, just scroll down on things. Coming very soon. We've got that continuing very soon. So we were supposed to be filming tonight, but unfortunately we can't. So we will be filming in 2 weeks' time, Flint and Steel. And that will be episode 7, I believe. So we've got another 6 or 7 of those to go, which is cool. Keep us going through to April when the sun returns, maybe. But it's appropriate that it's dark and cold when we're playing Warhammer. We also have Masters of Monsters. We've got one final episode that we want to do. Although if you've watched episode 12, you'll know that most of the story is there. Most of the actions happened, and what we have left is kind of the epilogue, the story, the rounding off, the fun bit where you can kind of talk. I mean, there is still a bit of the game left to go itself, but perhaps not 2 hours, and maybe the last hour or so we'll be discussing about what we want our characters to do, what they were thinking, that kind of thing. Sam's done a really good job with Mage. She knows Mage inside and out, and it's been a lot of fun playing in a game because I spend a lot of my time running games, but that's her. The World of Darkness and all that kind of stuff is her forte. She knows it really well, as you can tell from the Mage show. And I've really enjoyed playing Jeremy, which is great. So we've got one final episode, which is why I didn't put it on the teaser video. Not obviously, don't have anything against Masters of Monsters. I think it's fantastic. It's I like to call it our cerebral show. Sam runs a bit more of a thinky game than I do at the moment. I've been getting into a bit more. Well, we've got a lot of dwarves and they want to hit stuff, so it's like, give them what they want. So then after that, so following on from Mage, Adam is going to run our Star Trek adventure show, Star Trek Morpheus. I still need to check whether or not we can just call it that, but I don't think I'll have a problem. So this is going to be set about 20 years after the events of Deep Space Nine / Voyager, and we will be the crew of the Enterprise G, I believe. And this is a new type of ship that has large holographic elements. We should be running other World of Darkness games. Tony, that's a very good question. I'll come back to Star Trek in a moment. So Tony, other World of Darkness games. I hope so. Sam's, part of the crew, so should be playing in other games, should be playing in the Star Trek game. And we're going to see about another Masters of Monsters in the future, another Mage game. We may do something else. We're going to have a Scion game, but Sam won't be running that one. Colin will be running that one, but I'll come on to that later. But good question. So Star Trek Adventures. Yep, Star Trek Morpheus, set on the Enterprise G, futuristic, largely holographic ship, which will be crewed by us, and I hopefully will get to play. I had a character that I played on a play-by-post many years ago online, a Cardassian science officer, and I think I'm going to try and resurrect that, see if that will work. Maybe specialising in holography, so he might be quite useful on the ship. But I won't talk too much about it, because I think next week when we do our live show before the final episode of Masters and Monsters, I'm going to ask Adam to give us a little bit of information, a little idea. But I ordered some dice today. Unfortunately, I couldn't get science officer ones. I'll wait for them. But I've got some command dice, and I'll give them to someone. And once I get some science ones, this all goes into the pot for Garblag anyway, doesn't it? So yeah, Star Trek Adventures, Star Trek Morpheus is going to be coming in not very long. If you think about it, next week will be the final Masters of Monsters. 2 weeks after that, we will have our first episode of Star Trek Morpheus. So I am really looking forward to that. It's going to be wicked. I'm a massive Trekkie. I love Star Trek. I have a lot of fun watching it. I'll accept it in all its forms. But I've been wanting to role play Star Trek for a long time, and I think this is going to be really cool. Oh, there's special science officer dice in the news. There are special science officer dice. There are the specialties. So you've got red command dice, you've got yellow tactical and operations dice, and then you've got blue science dice. So I will get some of the blue ones at some point, but I just wanted to have some Star Trek dice for the game. So we'll see. We'll get some of those. So that's Star Trek Adventures. Then we're going to have Scion. Scion is, now let me get this on my phone. Excuse me for doing this. I want to get this right, because Colin's done a nice pitch for this, and I wanted to just give you a little rundown of what our Scion game is going to be. All, ooh, my face is all lit up. Okay, hang on. Here we go. We've got lots of Facebook groups now. Vostok's Chance. Here we go. So basically, Vostok's Chance premiered in 1991 and was quite shocking at the time, as it seemed to discard all the normal rules about what you could get away with on a game show. The contestants were tasked with committing various crimes by the mysterious Mr. Vostok within a self-contained mock-up of a 1960s laboratory complex or office block or the like. If they completed a challenge, they had the choice to take the quite substantial prize money or risk it on the next challenge. Since the contestants were randomly selected, few had any relevant experience or skills, so stealth, wits, and guile were the usual paths to success. Success was unusual. Confrontations with the on-site security could become violent, and physical injury was a real risk. For all its danger, after several series, the show had lost much of its thrill. Contestants had seen earlier series, so they had ideas of what worked, and the illusion of lawless violence had faded as the rules of the show became clear. The security would physically restrain a contestant, but they would only ever escalate beyond that to match whatever the contestant themselves had done. After 5 seasons, it was axed, leaving a cult of disappointed fans. Around 10 months ago, though, the production company started to make cryptic announcements about a new project, and the rumors were quick to fly. Nothing concrete has been announced, but the characters have received invitations from Mr. Vostok. Please excuse the unexpected nature of this letter and allow me to introduce myself. I'll tell you what, I'll leave it there, actually. It's really cool. It's like a resurrected reality TV show called Vostok's Chance that the players will be drawn into, and from there, all kinds of craziness will ensue. Now, I've never played Scion, and I don't know a lot about it, but I know that it's, you are kind of descended or the inheritors of sort of godlike power. You sort of rank up through different steps of power, and different pantheons can be selected from. Now, the guys and girls who are playing, they love Scion, so this is going to be a great game. They're all going to be enthused. This is going to be the first game we also run not on a Thursday night. We're going to be trying to film that on a Tuesday night, hopefully with a little live episode beforehand, a little hello. But it's going to be our first show filmed on a Tuesday and hopefully released on a Wednesday. I'm going to try. We're going to see if I can do it. That'll mean I have to get it from them, edit it, do the sound, put it back together and put it out maybe late on a Wednesday night. But what we're trying to get to for you guys is to have 2 episodes a week, 2 of actual play episodes a week, not just live stuff like this. So that's really cool. Colin's he loves Scion, and he knows it inside and out. They're kind of talking about all kinds of things I didn't understand the other day. So I was kind of like, right, okay, these guys know their stuff. That's good. I'll bow out of this one. But that's fine. I have parental duties to attend to. So I think Colin's going to step away from the Thursday nights, go on to a Tuesday night, run the show there. So that's cool. Then what else have we got? We've got various other things. We've got Lawrence wants to run a Dark Heresy game. That's at the moment in its infancy an idea, but definitely one we want to do after Flint and Steel, maybe on Tuesdays, alternate with Vostok's Chance, which would be cool. And Dark Heresy is great fun and messy and painful and horrible. Anyone who knows Warhammer 40k, that's going to be a lot of fun. That's cool. In fact, that is leading the poll on our channel. We've got a poll around which of 4 shows you'd be most interested in watching. Funnily enough, Dungeons and Dragons is the least, and Dark Heresy is the highest, with I think Star Trek just behind. Scion just behind, and then Star Trek. Anyway, you can go check that out and maybe vote if you haven't voted already. That's cool. We've got Dungeons and Dragons. I've been looking at the books recently. As you can see, I've got my Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay there as well, don't worry. And obviously the bad boy. We keep one of these in the house just in case of emergencies. So D&D Planescape 5th edition. Now, anyone who doesn't know Planescape is all-encompassing setting. It's fantastic. It's set across the many planes of existence, but it all comes down to this city at the heart of it all called Sigil, where certain factions vie over the kind of hearts and minds of the people of the city, which spills out onto what's called the Outlands, which is the plane around it, with these gates, cities that lead off to the plains. And here, alignment is more important. What you believe in defines the very world around you. Yes, Adam, it is a bad boy. That's Adam there from the Zweihander crew. Hi, Adam. Good to see you again. This is probably after work for you now, isn't it? I don't know. Um, what was I talking about? Oh, Planescape. Yes. So the characters will be a hodgepodge of people from different realms, different planes of existence, different prime material worlds come together for some strange reason, and they will have a common cause. And the adventure will start in Sigil and probably take them to several different planes of existence. I absolutely love Planescape. The feeling, the setting. If you haven't explored it before, go and give it a little Google. Go check it out. It's really cool. The artwork is very evocative. It really gets you in the setting. Sigil itself is kind of set. Which tier are you going for? Oh, sorry. I'm guessing the comments are slightly behind, but yeah, tier. I guess you're referring to Scion. I think it's going to be hero tier to begin with. So yeah, Planescape Sigil is set inside. The city is set on the internal surface of what is a tire-shaped structure that floats above an infinite spire at the center of the Outlands. So it's kind of all this kind of impossible. Oh, Planescape. Which tier are you going for? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Egil. Quiz me more. Quiz me more. Refine your question. 4 o'clock here. Doing well, thank you. Excellent. But thank you for the information about Siren. Yep. Character levels. Right. Sorry. You're talking fourth there, aren't you? Or Paragon and all that kind of thing. We're starting first level. I want to create a series of shows that are kind of the corner posts of the channel. Ones that will not necessarily run all the time, but will come back and will have season numbers associated with them. So Flint and Steel is one. I think Dungeons & Dragons game could be another. I want to talk to Adam about Star Trek, see how we go with that. And I'm thinking there are a couple of other ones as well. Once we get into running 4 shows at the same time, then the year starts to expand into more shows. And I think we'll have the opportunity to say a few of them are kind of regular shows, and some of them are one-shot mini-series. We could fit a few 4 or 6 episode ones into a normal cycle of a show. So I think that's something that we'll be trying to do. And I think if we start first level, we can get some good character exploration, and we'll have some longevity to it, and people can really get into their characters. Speaking of characters, we've got 3 so far defined. We've got a half-elf sorcerer with a draconic heritage, who's played by Roger. We're going to have a Aarakocra Tempest Cleric, which I really love. I think Tempest Cleric goes really well with coming from Elemental Plane of Air, and that's Jim playing that character. And then we've got a GIF Rogue. Now, if you don't know what a GIF is, it's not one of those animated things. It's a giant hippo humanoid man, body of a man, head of a hippo. They're very militaristic, and they're very obsessed with medals, honor, and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be an interesting one off the bat. So I'm hoping to convince a couple of other people to join in, but that won't start till we finish season 2 of Flint and Steel anyway. So that's probably April time. But these things sneak up on you, don't they? I mean, hey, it's 2019. Been doing this for 2 years. What else have we got in the pipeline? Also, Adam, good that you're watching. We're going to have as Zweihander a show. Easter is in April this year. Yes. Yep. Okay. We're going to have a Zweihander show, and that's going to be Black Road. So that's going to be set in my world, my setting of the same name, following a group of adventurers. That will be later on in the year, but we're definitely getting to that. I want to use it as an opportunity to expand on the Black Road setting. And there are some of the crew have played in the world in its earlier versions, and they're quite interested in getting back to it. also some of the crew are interested in getting back to Zweihander. So we really like, sorry, Zweihander. So we really like the game, and the guys like the setting. So we're going to be doing a show based on that as well. I'm just trying to think if there was anything else. Nope, I think that's everything there. Cool. Okay, so that's all of the new shows that are coming. We're really excited about all this stuff going on. It's really cool that you guys are supporting us. We're now at, let me check on the channel to get the live number. Here we go. How many subscribers are we on? Oh, hang on. Don't play a video. We are on 1,036 subscribers. Thank you, everyone who is following us, supporting us, watching our shows. It's absolutely amazing. Oh, scary that I can actually see the picture of this show on the screen right now. That's kind of some kind of scary thing going on. Yes, lots of stuff going on. Hopefully, lots of stuff for people to enjoy. We're trying to have a spread of genres, systems, settings, that kind of thing. We want to have some well-known IPs in there, like Star Trek, so that people can really get into it. Where I want to get a bit of D&D on the channel, but I want to have a little twist on it. I don't want to be Forgotten Realms and the same stuff that a lot of people are doing. I mean, there's like 1 million Dragon Heist streams right now. I wanted to do something that there's probably a sort of core of very interested individuals who would like to come and watch it on the show. Obviously, you've got to do new shows to draw in new people. I'm not going to lie, we want to get the subscriber number up. I want to get to 2,000 subscribers this year. That would be absolutely amazing. And one way to do that is to run more shows. So we're getting on it, and we want to play new games. We want to mix it up. The new Star Trek looks great. I want to give it a go. I've watched a couple of shows of it on other channels. It looks like a lot of fun, and I love Star Trek. So the techno babble will flow. So that'll be good fun. Yes, so lots of exciting things coming in 2019, and that's really cool. I've had a bit of a delay on the Patreon. I know some of you are supporting us, and thank you very much. Lance, hey, Lance, how you doing? Lance, earlier on, I was just telling everyone to go and watch. Sorry, we're on YouTube. Go and listen to the Old World podcast, because I've just finished Entertaining the Huff, which is the latest episode, and that was a lot of fun. I really liked the different twist that you put on just talking through careers. You made it really interesting and talked about a lot of opportunities with character development. So that was really cool. So welcome, hello, and thanks for watching. I've lost my train of thought again. There we go. We were just talking about all the shows that were coming, how many viewers you got, and I've gone to the Patreon. I've had a bit of a setback. Obviously it's been Christmas, so it's been extremely busy. There's some family stuff going on. I had my car stolen, so I've had to deal with that as well, which now pretty much, let's put that to the side. It's done. It happened. Yeah, whatever. So that's taken up, you spend a lot of your time calling the police and thanks, Lance. Yeah. And talking to insurance companies, which is soul destroying. But anyway, I'm getting back on the Patreon. So you may have seen that I've put up a post. I'm working on the PDF of the Abandoned Tavern. So that will be up in the next week or so, just as I finish that off. And then I'm going to start on a couple more maps. Ross, our competition winner, and I are in conversations about what he wants for his map as well. So we're going to get working on that. He's busy reading all the Zweihander stuff. I told him to go and pick up Main Gauche as well, Adam. So hopefully you'll have another customer there with the gift certificate that he got. And maybe you can have a look at my maps in that game, which is cool. So I'm going to do some more maps. I'm going to try and create a series of sort of not generic but not specific scenarios. So they will be sort of 4 to 5 page PDFs that will have a nice map with a breakdown with numbered locations, and also a final sheet which will be a very high DPI image of the map, so it can be printed out larger. But the 4 or 5 pages will be a little bit of story, a little bit of background, but then things like hooks, adventure hooks for getting into the location, adventure hooks for getting out, interesting ways that you can combine it into a campaign, any traps, any hazards. Like to do things around the seasons, so depending when you come to a location, you'll experience different things. If it's winter and you're in the sewers, you'll get, there'll be less going through the tubes. If it's autumn, it'll be full of leaves and all this kind of thing. So a bit about that, and then things around, where would be a good spot for you to put the MacGuffin, the magic object, the thing. I'm not going to specify particular monsters. I may make recommendations or suggestions for the kinds of things in different systems, but I want these to be sort of fancy locations that can be usable in Dungeons and Dragons, in Zweihander, in Warhammer fantasy roleplay, sort of dark, grim fantasy settings, really. And there'll be a few that are a bit more colourful and a bit more fantastical. I've got an idea for a ruined temple with these corrupt vines creeping through the structure and sort of creating cracks through the walls through which you can sort of sneak. And a few other things. The competition, a load of suggestions were made, and recently I just kind of asked some of you guys on the Garblag tabletop gaming community, what would you want to see? And they got like 20 things. So I found it interesting that I've sent a lot of emails out to patrons, and I haven't had many responses about specific maps that people would like to see. However, I found that Facebook, people have been a bit more responsive. So I'm trying to find the best way of communicating with everyone, and to get a list of sites and scenarios that people will be interested in. But I'm going to do this mini monthly module, I think it was called, mini monthly module. And then I'm going to try and belt out a few maps, get those done in January. So that's the goal for January as far as the Patreon goes. So if you are, thank you very much. If you're not, please go check out patreon.com/Garblag Games to go and see what we're doing. There's loads of stuff on there at the moment. And the other thing I'm struggling with is hard to keep a kind of running list of everything that is on there for free. So you can go on there right now, even if you don't want to, put money in, obviously. And we thank everyone who does, because I understand there's not a lot to go around. People have to make decisions about what they want to sort of commit to and support. And we really appreciate it when people do pick us, which is amazing. It's great. We lost a few just recently, which is fine. These things go up and down. I've learnt to not tie my emotions too closely to numbers on a web page of how many people are following me. But what I'm doing is I realize that that's down to my inactivity over December, unfortunately. So January, we're going to pick that back up to get a few more things going on. Also going to talk to Sam about getting her setting. She's got her, basically the world she created for our Masters of Monsters show. She's suggested that we could probably share that out through the Patreon as well, which I think is a great idea. And there's a load of other stuff going on. As far as free things go, there's loads of stuff you can get on there right now. I've got a D&D setting called Ondrum, the World Mountain. That is 20 pages of overview description. That's about 9 pages, and the other 9 pages are every class and subclass in Xanathar's Guide to Everything and the Player's Handbook. I've written a little blurb about how it fits into the world. I found it a really useful tool for sort of exploring the world a little bit and thinking about all the player options how do they fit in? Previous settings, so Black Road and other things I've created in the past, it's always been that I've taken something out and made a reason for it. There are no elves, they're all dead, there's this going on, that's, you know, all that kind of thing. This one I wanted to be like, I want anyone can play anything in these books up here, and you don't have to go, oh well, how did Dragonborn fit into Forgotten Realms, let's retcon that. No, this is just all encompassing. So it's sorry, just checking on the boy, he's just rolling around. So it's there's a bit in there about every subclass, about how they fit into the world, and that altogether is 20 pages of just like, you can take that, you can go, you can run with it. It's got a nice picture of the world mountain itself. It's like this super gas giant sized mountain with lots of planes coming off of it with different worlds. Go and check it out on Patreon. We've got a traveler setting, so it's a small bit so far. There's a couple of PDFs on different regions of the Ladaris subsector in the Eternal Reaches, which is the region of space, and a bit on the species that I created, the Ascendant species, because it's my own setting. I like creating my own settings. So that's on there as well. We've got 3 Planescape subclasses for D&D, which I'm trying to entice my players to play one of them, but no luck so far. We've got the Warlock Patron Lady of Pain, which some people say wouldn't happen, but she's the Dabus have their power from her, and I think it's more of her power is so much that it kind of spills out and infects a few people rather than she's made a bargain per se. Well, concept for world mount settings, cool. What's the possibilities there? Thank you, Lance. Yeah, I mean, if you've checked it out, then I'd love to hear any feedback or thoughts on any of the worlds. We've got a couple of people who are interested in writing for it. And again, it's another project that we've got another iron in the fire that we need to have a think about. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, that one. The original concept drawings and stuff got a lot of hits on Facebook and Twitter. I think I got like 1,500 likes on Facebook, which was crazy. And I was like, what? It just kind of exploded. So I thought, yeah, this is cool. People like this. So anyway, subclasses. Yes, we've got the monk, Way of the Silver Mind, who can pull out their silver cord from the astral plane and use it as a weapon. Or a grappling tool. And we've got the Bard College of Doors, who figure out the music of the planes and how you can unlock a door with a tune. That was inspired by He-Man and Master of the Universe movie, where they have the do thing that opens up the portals and stuff like that. I thought, hey, let's go for a Bard College based on that. But yeah. So that's all free on there. We've got a bunch of maps that are free. And then paid content, we've got more maps, we've got the dungeon themed character sheet on there, which we've got on our Redbubble. So we've got the dungeon themed character sheet. If you haven't seen that, have a look. That's the first page of it. It's a 3-pager. It's got all the stuff that the 3-pager character sheet you can get from WotC on their website, everything it has. So the third sheet is spells, etc. The second sheet has got like alliances and equipment, spaces, big boxes for that kind of stuff, your height, weight, all that kind of thing. Oh, I just got it wet. Look at that. But this front page is the vital statistics page, with all your, strength, dex, con, which I've kind of themed, all your skills, and then all your other stuff. So that. Oh, hang on, this little handy notebook is available on the Redbubble, but the character sheet you can get, 3-page character sheet you can get on the Patreon, or you can actually buy it on DM's Guild. It's $1.49 on DM's Guild right now. So you can go over there. You just go into DM's Guild and type dungeon themed and you'll find it. Yeah, so we're going to be using those sheets for our D&D game. Just so we can occasionally show them up and go, hey, merch. We've got mugs. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. Just sort of kind of done a bit of a shotgun approach so far to get lots of things covered. Now what we're doing in 2019 is we're going to take each of those things, make them better, make them more robust, improve on them, and have a bit more of a considered approach. What's really cool is this is starting to turn into something more than we had expected. A couple of years ago, I sort of had 50 subscribers and we're making videos just in case. Now we've got an audience. We've got you guys who come back each time. It's starting to become something which is amazing, and it's great. I love sharing this with you guys, and the response has been fantastic. So that's really cool. Cheers, Skål. So, yeah. So that's all the stuff that's going on, all the stuff that we're doing. What else? What else has been going on? I played Ticket to Ride over the Christmas holiday, which is a great board game if you haven't played it. It's kind of on the cusp of it's on the cusp of proper board games versus Monopoly. You can get non-proper gamers involved in a game of Ticket to Ride, and they don't know that they've been pulled into something that's a bit more interesting. Also played a game of Cards Against Humanity, which is disgusting, but a lot of fun. So yeah, that was fun. New Year's Eve gaming session. I put a picture up on the Garblag of the shot of the board. Little thumbs up for Happy New Year's, which a lot of you saw. So that's cool. What else are we doing? We're building up to St Albans Comic Con. We're just trying to figure out what part of the Alban Arena, which is the kind of civic centre in St Albans, nice big space. It's where they do the big beer festival and everything. So there's going to be a lot of room. Hopefully they'll either give us the basement or the upstairs minibar, where it's got sort of a little space with a balcony, and that'd be good. Black Road ? What, Adam? Oh, what about Black Road? Black Road you can get on Drive-Thru RPG right now for $2.99. It's a 50-page PDF with about 10 empty pages in it, because it's a folio edition. It's a work in progress document. So what you're buying into right now for $2.99 is the rest of the product, until we get to a stage where I managed to convince Daniel and Adam that we should publish it as an actual book. But anyway, what we've got there now is it's kind of like you've got a high level view of the world. Then it brings you down into the Kingdom of Five, which is where the adventures are set. It's kind of a bit like the California coast with the mountains. So there's like a big stretch. You like what you see so far? Thank you, Adam. And then there are 5 large cities that it's a humanocentric setting that are dotted around, and the geography of the world really influences their professions. Obviously what minerals they can get out of the ground, what's the local rainfall for agriculture, all that kind of stuff. So you've got like the very northern city, which is quite militaristic and grey, and then the city where there's a big river, lots of iron. You've got fishing and steel going on. Then you've got the big city in the middle, Onsmouth, which is kind of the melting pot of everyone. And there's lots of trade. There's more of a trading point. Then a bit further down in the kind of green agriculturally area, you've got Ricestable, where the thoroughbreds of horses originate, and where there's a big breadbasket of the kingdom. And then in the far south, where it's hotter, as you get towards the Sea of Sand, you've got Satoria, which is smaller and lives off of spices and that kind of trade, but is also kind of where magic resides. There's a structure called the 3 stars, and the 3 fixed stars in the sky. And here is where Salomon brought the pilgrims down from Onsmouth to first set up the city when they had detected what's called the gate, the gate of Usain, which leads into the Sea of Sand. So all the hopefuls to join the 3 stars have to walk through the gate of Usain into the Sea of Sand, and then go out and sort of spend time in the wilderness surviving. When they come back, they can then sort of join the 3 stars, and they get trained in different aspects of magic, but they're kind of indentured to noble houses. So wizards aren't just running around. Lunch is over, back to work later all. See you, Lance. Thanks for tuning in, and talk to you soon. Yeah, so there's a lot going on there. And their export is magic, effectively, not like magic items and all that kind of stuff. But hey, Adliger Krieger, hello, how you doing? Welcome to the YouTube live on Garblag Games. So yes, Black Road, the setting I've done, it kind of narrows down. It is a bit about gods, there's a bit about other things, then there's going to be a bit about the truth, which is going to be like the Games Master section. I want to get it to 200 pages. It's currently about 35, 40 out of 50. I need to spend a bit more time on it, obviously. I want to take some of the maps that we create on the Patreon and use them in the... Hey! Hello, Spectre Karasu. Someone in disguise. Use the Patreon maps as an opportunity to create ones that actually populate some of Black Road. I've already done a dummy Black Bridge map, which I need to juice up and do my new skills on, because I found that the first town maps I was doing for Zweihander actually look decent, so I was pleasantly surprised. So we're going to get onto that. But Black Road's going to get fleshed out. I've nearly sold 50 copies of it on Drive-Thru RPG, which is quite nice. It's not going to win any awards or break any records, but it's cool. It's going well, and hopefully I'll work on it before we get to this show, and then on the show we can talk about it. People will watch it, enjoy it, maybe go and buy the setting. I'm still, as I said, trying to influence Daniel into Daniel Fox from Zweihander, the Grim and Perla Studios, I should say, and Adam, who's in the chat right now, that it could be a really good line for them with their new publishing deal. But anyway, we still need to get a copy of Main Ghost going on, or even the Tetsubo, the kind of Japanese folklore mythology version that they're doing at the moment, which looks wicked. Anyway, we'll have to do that in 2020, I think. That'll have to be one of the shows we do in 2020. Okay, cool. So there's loads of stuff going on. We've been playing games. We're going to be playing some more games. I think that's probably, let me just see how the little boy is doing. That's 53 minutes that's been, I've been talking. Look at that. Right, so what I'm going to do is unless there's any questions in the chat, any more thoughts that people have, I am going to head off and sign off. It's been fun chatting with you guys again. Oh, we just got up to 10. Nice. Hello, viewers. Welcome to the Garblag Games YouTube channel. I'm about to end this live broadcast. Unless you've got any questions, people dropping off. Okay, right. Anyway, so thanks very much for watching. Hopefully, if you just joined us, go back, watch from the beginning. Otherwise, we'll see you next week for Masters and Monsters. We'll be doing a live show before that. We've got the rest of season 2 of Flint and Steel, which is our Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay show, to play out till April. There will be a season 3. Don't worry, Adliger Krieger. We will get to season 3, but we're going to take a little break and do some other games. But Flint and Steel, as I was talking about earlier on, is going to be one of the cornerstones of our channel for a good few years. Thank you. Well, we love making that show. I'm glad that you guys enjoy it. And I will I'll leave you there. Hope you guys have some good gaming over the weekend, if you can. If you can't, come and join us next week. Yes, come and join us next week on Garblag Games for one of our crazy adventures. See you then. Bye bye.